Hey vinyl community, hope everyone's doing well. It's absolutely beautiful today, and it's been absolutely beautiful since I uploaded my last video. And I guess because all winter you get to hear how cold it is where I live, you're going to hear all summer how warm it is here. Mid-20s, early 30s. I don't even know what this is. Is this late spring, early summer? I never know. But it's beautiful here, and I hope it's beautiful wherever you are right now. Cheers, everyone. I've been getting in the habit of making a little bit of more compact videos. So, as you guys know, I do one take and one take only. So it's going to go as long as it goes today. But I'm going to hope to keep it within a certain more compact range for you all. Vinyl finds. I got one new record to show you. Some bits and bobs. And we're going to see where this video takes us. Where do I start? Where do I start? All right. This isn't vinyl. This isn't CD, this isn't cassette, this isn't 8-track, Laserdisc, DAT tape. It's a tour program I found at a thrift store for Rush 1980. This is an original Permanent Waves tour book I found for like a couple bucks from 1980, like I said. Very rarely will I find tour books this old, but it's obviously I wasn't at the show. I was a little bit too young probably to go to the show, but yeah. Rush tour book from their Permanent Waves tour 1980, for anyone who's interested in seeing the back of that. I got one CD. It's worth mentioning anyways. When this came out, was it a year or two ago? It was released simultaneously with the vinyl record, and I went for the vinyl. I try not to repeat formats, unless it's bands I really collect. And I went with the vinyl, even though the bonus tracks were better on this CD, but I found this at a thrift store for, well, a couple bucks. But it's Faith No More, Angel Dust. There you go. It's the Deluxe 2 CD edition for a couple bucks. How awesome is that? I was excited about all the bonus tracks, because I do have the 12-inch singles for the singles that came off this album, so there was a lot of good bonus tracks, remixes. Sadly, there's the inside if anyone seems to care. I'm not very impressed with the bonus tracks. I'm very happy to get a remastered copy of this on CD, but the live tracks aren't very well recorded. It's, I don't know, slightly above audience recording. It's probably better than that, but it's not, the live recordings aren't very good, and that was really disheartening. And the bonus tracks, they left a lot of the remixes from the 12-inch singles off of here. If you're going to release a deluxe package, why not put them all in here? Because they did one remix of, what is it, Midlife Crisis? A Small Victory, sorry. I'm brain farting. But they put the worst remix on here that was on that 12-inch. So anyways, I could go on and on, but I was just disappointed. I don't know. If you have this, I don't know. What do you think about it? Like I said, the original album is one of my favorite albums of the time, but I think Reissue could have done a way better job of sourcing out better live material and maybe packing in some more of the original remixes that were on there, because there's the dub remix of Small Victory. See, it's one take. The dub remix is actually way better than the one they put on here. So, I'll take it for a couple bucks, but for all the anticipation, I was very let down. Some singles I found. This is a very rare, most overused word on eBay. But this is, it's a garage rock band, 1968. And it's on the Hanna-Barbera record label. Hanna-Barbera were the people behind Flintstones and all those cartoons, but I guess they had a record label. But this is a band called The New Breed, and the song is called Want Ad Reader. Garage rock, I think it's, like I said, 66, sorry. Found that at a thrift store. Very happy when I saw how much money it goes for, because I'm not sure if I'll be hanging on to this or not, but that was a nice find. And although the cover doesn't match, whenever I pick up singles, if the covers don't match, I don't care, because I have a backlog of company record sleeves for singles, and then when I pick up singles at thrift stores, I mix and match them. But this is a single for Rush, again, Rush, Closer to the Heart. But it comes with an older CBS or Columbia Records sleeve that I needed for a Bob Dylan single that I had no cover for. So Rush, Closer to the Heart, single I found. All right, the one new record I got in the mail, and like I said, I've been telling you the last few videos, I've not been picking up a lot of new records. In fact, I've been ordering a lot of stuff and then canceling it. Doing a lot of second guessing of, do I need that? And I think it's serving me well to save up some money for my impending trip overseas. But this I had to get because I did get the prior two releases of that. Bowie, it's Bowie. I'll blow a surprise now. It's Bowie. But I picked up the Ziggy Stardust and it's a Hunky Dory that came out a few months back on gold vinyl. And then I ordered this on Amazon, and then for whatever reason, they canceled the order and they're not carrying it. So I found this at a local store that I never go to. I just happened to drive by it and I pulled over. And they had one copy for half the price that Amazon was selling it. So this is quite the nice turn of events where a local store was vastly underselling Amazon, who, like I said, they canceled this order anyways and they're not carrying it. But it's the new 45th anniversary edition of Aladdin Sane by David Bowie on... not gold vinyl this time. I did take this one out to show you all. It's silver vinyl. So I fumble around with it. On silver vinyl. I was quite happy with the last two that came out. I think I was talking about that in one of my other videos. The quality on those gold vinyl ones were oddly really good. And I have not played this one yet, but I'm very excited. So if it's Bowie, just take my money. How about we do it, you know, take my money, because it's Bowie. I'm buying it. One of those artists that I buy sight unseen. Anyways, there you go. This new silver edition. 45th anniversary edition of Aladdin Sane. These were all from one night out. I think 2 thrift stores I went to, but I got quite a nice score of stuff. We're going to start with Roy Harper. His 1980 album, The Unknown Soldier. The cover you see here, I believe, was only released in Germany and Canada, I believe. This wasn't the cover that was used in the UK. Roy Harper, the short story of Roy Harper, if you don't know Roy Harper, you might best know him if you don't know him. He sings the vocals on Pink Floyd's Have a Cigar off their album Wish You Were Here. A lot of people think that was Roger Waters, but that's actually Roy Harper who did the vocals on that song. And then on this album, although I did look online and I looked at some retrospective reviews, and it's not the greatest critical album, which I don't really care about. But Kate Bush is on this album on a song called You. And David Gilmour plays guitar on every song on this album, oddly enough from Pink Floyd. There's the tie-in. And Dave Gilmour plays guitar on half of the songs on this album. So there's a Pink Floyd tie-in and Kate Bush is on this. And in fact, the song You, with Kate Bush on vocals, might be one of the better Pink Floyd songs that Pink Floyd never recorded. And a lot of people don't like that song. They think it's a Pink Floyd ripoff, but Dave Gilmour's on it. So I think if he has any right to sound like Pink Floyd, it's fine, because Gilmour co-wrote half the songs, and it's Kate Bush. And Gilmour played guitar, so maybe it has to sound like Pink Floyd. Anyways, Roy Harper, one of the greatest underrated artists this side of the Atlantic, in my opinion, anyways. And this is an original Harvest Records pressing. All right, let's move on to some really weird, funky stuff here, but the Foundations. Now, this is from 1969. Now, this is a gatefold. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic, but gatefold. I've never seen this album before. You might know the Foundations best for their song Build Me Up Buttercup. I didn't know they were English. If I remember right, they were actually English. I always thought they were from the US or something. But we all know the song Build Me Up Buttercup. They were actually kind of a funky R&B soul band. And this is called Digging the Foundation. I think one of their last albums they did in the 60s. But kind of a sought-after album, because you just don't see it around very often. And the Foundations were a lot more than Build Me Up Buttercup. They were actually a pretty decent R&B soul band. A lot of pop influence thrown in, obviously. But never seen this one before. That was a nice find. The Friends of Distinction. Highly Distinction. This is an original, what is this on? Original RCA Records pressing. And I can't remember what year it's now. It might be late 60s. Friends of Distinction, a lot of you might know the Friends of Distinction. Soul R&B. That was a really nice find. I don't really find a lot of great soul R&B albums. Although last video you saw that I found James Brown, which is the godfather of them all. But when I find really good, funky soul albums, R&B, I'm really happy to find those in good condition. But Friends of Distinction, highly distinction, or highly distinct. Depends on how you want to say it. 1910 Fruit Gum Company. I've never seen this album. Most of you people know their album Indian Giver and the song Indian Giver. And then all their other songs, Yummy, 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 and Chewy, 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 and all those songs. But this is an album they did in 1969, and I found this in the Shrink, original Buddha Records pressing, of Hard Ride, The Train, Creations of Simon, Collection of Thoughts, All These Things. This is not Indian Giver. This is not that bubblegum poppy. It is a little bit, but it's more of a, I hate to use the overword use psych, but it has a lot of psychedelic influence, hence the long-ass title. But like I said, I've never, ever seen this album, and I found a copy for $1.99 in the Shrink. Really nice condition, too. White label Buddha Records pressing of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. The only album I've ever seen is that Indian Giver album. By the way, do you guys know that the Ramones covered that song? They did, as a B-side. I think the Ramones version's better, personally. The Ramones could do a cover of a fart, and it would probably sound pretty good, because I love the Ramones. That's a total aside. But 1910 Fruit Gum Company, really excited to find this. When I see albums that I've just never seen before, and you guys know I've seen tons of records. At record fair alone, one record fair alone, I'll flip through thousands of records. So you see a lot of records over 30 years, whatever long it's been. And as like I said, never seen that one. I think I found a copy of this 6 months ago, and I showed it to you then. And I found another copy, which is much better than the one I had. But it's Eric Burdon in War, The Black Man's Burden. So the second copy I found in a year. And double album on MGM Records. I thought it had some kind of funky... I think it has a funky little... Yeah, it does. Okay, let's do nudity alert. It's in the gatefold. So I remembered right. It has a funky little inside cover of Eric Burdon and War, The Black Man's Burden. Really nice. I was really happy to get an upgraded copy of this. I don't see it around very often. To find it twice in a year at a thrift store was kind of exciting. So my other one I'll dispense with, and I will keep this one as my copy. So there it's... I don't know where I was going with that one. Yeah, I'm making good time. Don't you worry. This will not be a half hour, I promise you. I found an original Manicore Records pressing of Brain Salad Surgery by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I've never owned. Very rarely see an original vinyl copy. This has the original, I'm not going to take it out, but it's the original copy. A little bit of coverware on Manicore Records. $2. Like I said, ringware on the back, but it's an original pressing and original US pressing. And the vinyl's really nice. So I was really happy. With all the Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums, there's probably 2 or 3 that I would consider ones that I will keep in my collection and play with frequency, and this is one of them. So that was a really nice find. Probably one of the best album covers ever. Is it H.R. Geiger did this cover? I think I'm correct with that one. The guy who did the Alien, invented the Alien, designed the Alien. Babe Ruth, First Base. This is an original Harvest Records pressing from the UK for... Out of all the records I found of this lot, I go into Discogs and I'll add it to my collection, and then I see the value of it. I would never have believed of all the records I found in this haul, this would be the most valuable record. I think it's like a $37 to $50 album on Discogs, which is for an original UK pressing. It's an okay album. I have a Canadian pressing, I believe. But when I see these original Harvest record pressings, I pick them up. Harvest Records is one of my favorite record labels. As diverse as it was. You get Pink Floyd, you get Duran Duran, you get the Monks, you get Babe Ruth, you get all kinds of weird things on Harvest Records. I just love that label. One of my favorite label designs ever, along with, you know, some Virgin record labels, Island record labels are some of my favorite ones. But anyways, I digress. Very shocking find for value, just for value-wise, is Babe Ruth First Space original UK pressing. Really nice vinyl, too. Just a couple more to show you. Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting. I found this one a couple years ago, sealed. And I found a new home for that, aka I sold it. But I found another copy in that haul of, so this is an original Canadian Pi Records, distributed by Phonodisc. That's details you don't need to know. But Kung Fu Fighting, it's Kung Fu Fighting. Why not? Last one I'm going to show you. And this must be the 4th copy I've shown you in one of my videos in the last year, probably. But I keep on finding them at thrift stores, and I keep on finding really nice condition copies of these. This is an original, well, I don't know if it's original, but it's an earlier Blue Label Mercury Records pressing of Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards. I'll probably have to find this a new home because I already have, I think my last video, if I recall, one of my last videos where I found this, I said I had found my once and for all copy, and I have. So I wasn't going to pass this up for a couple bucks. I mean, everyone needs this album. So every time I find this, I find new homes for it. But I didn't realize it sold so many copies in Canada. Oh well. Anyways, beautiful cover, beautiful condition. Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards. Not bad one take for just woken up in the early afternoon here after working all night. Kind of blagged my way through that one. Anyways, we're at 17 minutes and 25 seconds, and let's end this before 18 minutes. I want to say thank you again to everyone who watches these videos, everyone who's subscribed. Even if you don't subscribe and you watch the videos, I can always say thank you very much. I really honestly appreciate it. That's not disingenuous, I really do. And thank you to all you guys for making your videos. Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, I promised him I'd give him a shout out, and I forgot. There you go. It's almost 18 minutes. All right, David Michael, a.k.a. Nazz Nomad, for the vinyl community, thank you very much once again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.